Happy Easter, everybody. James Rule XRP Sunday, April the 20th, 2025. XRP, baby. I'm going to make a video for you today. We're going to cover some content. We're going to get excited. You know, it's been a really wild week at work. I've been working my tail off. It's the springtime. Everybody's buying things. Customers are getting on the edge, and they're keeping us busy with deliveries and driving the forklift and just having a good time and staying in shape. But I tell you what, I'm getting around to making a video for you. You know, it's just incredible, all the wonderful people I've met in this space. There's newbies coming into this space every day. If you just now found my channel, welcome to the show. I am a cryptocurrency teacher. I'm not a financial advisor. I get it out there the way I see it. I give it to you in my own type of perspective. I'm from Southeast Texas. I got into crypto 8 years ago, back in 2017. I was working in the oil fields of West Texas. Yeah, I was making good money, but I was looking for ways to diversify, to maybe take some old 401ks or take some cash out of savings and put it into something else. And I found Bitcoin. I knew what Bitcoin was, but I've actually purchased some in 2017. And then towards the end of 2017, before that massive bull run that we had, I flipped it all into XRP. I have been accumulating since, and I tell you what, it is starting to pay off, and we are just at the tip of the iceberg. So let's go ahead and get into it. I got several tabs open. So I was at Walmart yesterday, and I was wearing one of my XRP t-shirts, and this is kind of funny because every time somebody walks up to me or says, "Hey, XRP," or "Hey," you know, when you're at the supermarket wearing an XRP shirt, and someone asks, "You know about XRP?" And I'm like this guy right here, like, yes, I might know a few things about it. How you doing today? Yes. Hey, do you know about XRP? But anyway, let's go and get into it. I haven't mentioned this sponsor in a while, iTrustCapital. Let me tell you what happened back in 2020. I took all of my old 401ks. I took all of my old money and savings, and I flipped it into digital assets with iTrustCapital. And I'm not going to tell you what price I got XRP or Bitcoin or Ethereum at, but I tell you what, it has compounded over the past 5 years. I get to draw it out a year from now. I'm 58 and a half. I can't draw it until I'm 59 and a half. They also enable you to have Roth IRAs, which are tax beneficial. It's free to sign up. There's no monthly fees. They're called iTrustCapital. Check them out. There's a free link below. And when you sign up for free, tell them James Rule XRP sent you by. Okay, cryptocurrency numbers on Easter Sunday. CoinPaprika.com. Total crypto market cap is around $2.7 trillion. Bitcoin is at $84,514. Ethereum's at $15.77. XRP is $2.05. Nothing to really freak out about. A lot of people are saying that the market's going to crash. The market's going to moon. You know what? I tell you what, you have seen nothing yet. You have seen nothing. I mean, yeah, we're right around $2. Yeah, we went up to over $3. Yeah, we've been kind of going back and forth and dropping and doing this. But I tell you what, real case utility is what I focus on. I focus on ecosystems that have real case utility that are already being used around the world, that are being looked at by governments, that are being looked at by banks, that are being looked at by developers. And so many people are getting excited about these different digital assets. And as more people around the world start to see this and have that aha moment like many of us did years ago, you're going to hold on a little bit longer. And that's the trick to investing in digital assets. You have to ride that roller coaster. You have to sit back and not freak out when it dips below $2 or, you know, one of your investments might drop 5, 10, 20, 40%. Because it's going to come back around and you have to time it just right. Yes, you can take profits whenever you want. I'm in it long term because I'm wanting to change communities. I always give back to the local communities, different organizations. You know, I have a couple of nieces. I never had kids myself. I'm looking out for others as well as myself. But you know, we're looking at life-changing wealth coming up in the near future for many of you out there. And a lot of you out there that are just now dipping your toes into cryptocurrency and these mysterious tokens and digital assets and blockchain and all this, you have no idea how big this is going to be. You have no idea how big your investment is going to be here in the very near future. Okay, let's go ahead and go. All right, here is some major news that came out on the 19th. And this is massive. It says $10 trillion Charles Schwab plans to launch spot crypto trading in the next 12 months. $10 trillion in assets under management. And many of you out there have heard of Charles Schwab. Yeah, I mean, they're going to get into crypto and they're going to have spot trading of crypto. And I tell you what, how many eyes, whenever they announce this, Fidelity's already announced it, BlackRock's looking at things, JP Morgan, all these major financial institutions are starting to jump on the crypto bandwagon. But wait until a Charles Schwab offers this. And we're going to briefly look at this article from Crypto Briefing. It says the company aims to meet rising demand by providing a trusted platform for direct digital asset trading. It says Charles Schwab, a top U.S. broker firm with over $10 trillion, that's with a T, under management, plans to roll out spot crypto trading within the next 12 months, says CEO Rick Wurster during the company's 2025 spring business update this week. Wurster added that Schwab is well on track to offer spot crypto trading and expects to introduce it once the U.S. regulatory environment becomes favorable. Here is the quote. It says, "Our expectation is that the changing regulatory environment, we're hopeful and likely to be able to launch direct spot crypto and our goal is to do that in the next 12 months. And we're on a great path to be able to do that," said Wurster when asked about Schwab's updates on their plans for digital asset market. I'm not going to read this entire article. I do leave everything I talk about in the description of the video below. All of my sponsors, all of my affiliates, all of the things I talk about, just scroll down below, click on more, and you'll be able to tear it down yourself. Get excited, man. I mean, we have almost a $3 trillion market cap, and you're looking at trillions from Charles Schwab, from BlackRock, from all these major banks, from developers. All of this technology is coming into the United States. Regulatory clarity is happening very quickly in the United States. And if you hold on just a little bit longer, it's going to pay off big time, baby. All right. Hashkey was purchased by Ripple for 1.25. No, wait. No, I'm jumping the gun. I'm jumping the gun. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm jumping the gun. Man, it happens. I've had my coffee. Okay, now the XRP Tracker Fund is Hashkey Capital's third tracker fund following Bitcoin, ETH, and it's previously launched with Becerra. It says Hashkey Capital to launch Asia's first XRP tracker fund with Ripple Investment, expanding institutional access to XRP. Yes, I jumped the gun. I apologize. We all make mistakes. I'll admit I made a mistake. But the next article we're going to look at involves Ripple. And this involves Ripple as well. XRP, once we got regulatory clarity a couple of years ago in XRP, and once we understand that the SEC and Ripple have agreed on finishing this lawsuit, there's another 60-day extension on some kind of BS paperwork or whatever. Man, we're getting there. I mean, when we look at mid to late summer, and all these ecosystems and tokens start to come to fruition, you're going to freak out. Now, here we go. I'm sorry, King Solomon got this out there. I met King Solomon in London a couple years ago. Real nice guy. He has his own channel. Breaking: Hidden Road, recently acquired by Ripple, and they were acquired for $1.25 billion, gains FINRA approval to operate as a broker-dealer. Hidden Road can now provide institutional clients with a suite of compliant prime brokerage, clearing, and financial services and fixed income assets. And he tagged RLUSD, which is Ripple stablecoin, and XRP, baby. A lot of things are happening. Do you know what the value of your wallet's going to be here in the near future, possibly next year? Are you making financial decisions? Do you have a CPA? Do you have a financial advisor? You have to be prepared, because when you come into a lot of money, you're going to freak out. You're going to want to go out and buy Lambos and mansions and all this stuff, but you have to be smart. You have to be smart with your money. I live very frugally now, and I live by my means for a reason, because when I do amass massive wealth, I'm going to be patient. I don't have to have the newest truck, the newest house, the newest boat, the newest mansion, the newest toys. I live by my means. And when all this happens, I will be able to take a deep breath, as well as many, many, many of you around the world will be able to do, and just, okay, we did it. Now let's get prepared. Let's get all our ducks in a row. Let's get all our books in a row. Let's get all our financial, get everything in a row legally and do the right thing, baby. Okay, so, we talk about XRP. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I apologize. We talk about XRP, and when you're on social media like X and Facebook and, different outlets, you think that everybody around the world knows what XRP is because that's all we talk about. I'll talk about Flare. I'll talk about some meme coins. I'll talk about different things. But, so many people around the world have never heard of XRP. You can go into a restaurant, you can go to a bank, you can go to a church, you can go to wherever you want to go and ask somebody about XRP. And most of the time, they're going to look at you and go, I don't know what you're talking about. What is an XRP? Well, that's about to change because right now there are 6.3 million XRP wallets. And I was in a chat with Moon XRP on a Great Spaces the other day. And I was talking with members of the community and people around the world. And, there's around 8 billion people around the world. And when you go down to and look at the amount of XRP wallets, which is pretty amazing. I mean, 6.3 million XRP wallets is pretty amazing. But when you compare it to all the people in the world, we are just at the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we're in this so early. We are lucky. We are fortunate to be in this so early that we have the opportunity to share this with others. We have the opportunity to spread the word to others like I do on my YouTube channel. And, I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm telling you what I mostly hold, which is XRP for a reason. And if we go to rich-list.info, it is a visualization of XRP wallets, the XRP Ledger ecosystem. And this is the current statistics. And on the right, it shows the wallet count. And on the left, it gives you this nice visualization of percentages of accounts based on how many XRP are in their wallets. Like, the most XRP wallets have from 0 to 20 XRP, 2.6 million. 2.5 million have from 200 to 500 XRP. And as you start going up the ranks, and as you start seeing these huge, massive numbers of XRP, you see the wallets decrease. And at the bottom down here, and I'm not telling you how many to buy. I don't want you to share how many XRP you have in the comments of this video or on social media because there's so many bad people out there. There's so many scammers out there trying to take your cryptocurrency. And I want to reiterate that because you're going to receive an email, a text message, a help desk comment on X. You're going to ask a question about your crypto wallet if you're doing the right thing. And all these bad actors out there are trying to do what they can to entice you to give away either your passwords, your seed phrases, your centralized exchange information, your Coinbase information, blah, blah, blah. Never do it. None of these exchanges, none of these wallet providers will ever contact you, ever, ever, ever. So don't share your info because if you share your info, you're going to give away the keys to your castle. But anyway, right here at the bottom left, it shows 2,500 XRP. That means you are a 10%er. 8,900 XRP, you're a 5%er. 51,451 XRP, you're a 1%er. And it's crazy to think, and that's not much. Now for you out there, 51,000 XRP, that's a lot of money. I'm not going to lie to you. And if you've been accumulating and you have around 50,000, hats off to you. That is a ton of money. That is willing to invest in something with the volatility, with the SEC over the past 5 years, all the above. That is a massive amount. 2,500 XRP is a massive amount. But what happens when the value of XRP goes up into double digits, goes up to 10 or 20 or $50, and you start doing the math and you start going, man, I've never had this much money in my life. I have never accumulated this much wealth in my life. What am I going to do? That's why you need to get your ducks in a row today. You need to get with someone in your community that is financially savvy, that knows about numbers, that knows about investments, that knows about millionaires and billionaires in the area and what they're doing with their money for tax advantages, for reinvesting, for whatever. Get to know these people. Make sure they are legit. Make sure they are, locally accredited, because you're going to freak out. I have freaked out over the past 8 years. I have freaked out from November to today. I'm starting to freak out because we are at a new price gap, or a new price, level that we've never been at before. And this is only the beginning. And that's what really gets me excited. Okay. So you hear a lot about XRP ETFs, exchange traded funds, and I Googled XRP ETF list, and I'm just going to briefly read this for you. It says the AI overview. It says several firms have filed applications for XRP-based ETFs with the Securities and Exchange Commission, who is the SEC, including Bitwise, Canary Capital, 21 Shares, Wisdom Tree, Pro Shares, CoinShares, Grayscale, Volatility Shares, and Franklin Templeton. It says some of the proposals are for spot XRP ETFs, while other includes leveraged or inverse products. And here's a more detailed look. It says spot XRP ETFs. It says Bitwise, Canary Capital, and Grayscale have proposed spot XRP ETFs, which would track the price of XRP directly. Leveraged and inverse XRP ETFs, Pro Shares, and Volatility Shares have filed for multiple XRP-related ETFs, including leveraged, for example, 2X, and inverse minus 1X funds. ETPs and ETNs, I have not broken these down, so please bear with me. 21 Shares has a 21 Shares XRP ETP, which is an ETP, an exchange traded product that tracks the XRP index. Additionally, they have an XRP ETN, which is an exchange traded note. Other filings is Wisdom Tree, CoinShares, Tecrium, and Franklin Templeton, which is massive, have also submitted applications for various XRP related products. Tecrium's is leveraged XRP ETF with the ticker XXRP. So BlackRock, Schwab, all of these major companies, if they do not dip their toes into digital assets, they're going to miss out. And that's the reason they are ready. They have the Bugattis idling. They have the keys to their castle ready to go, because they know where all the money's going to go. We all know that everything in the world is eventually going to be tokenized. We realize that anything of value is going to be documented on the blockchain, whether it be real estate, whether it be personal items, whether it be, wealth. Everything that you can think of is going to be on the blockchain. And that's what gets me so excited, because I know where we are going. I look through the trees. I look through to the universe. I get those positive vibes back to the community because I'm open-minded and I know what I hold. So be sure to subscribe to the James Roll Crypto Show. If this is your first time watching my video, congratulations. I am in the process of, hopefully here in the next 6 to 8 weeks, of retiring and going full-time YouTube, full-time interviews, full-time traveling around the world, meeting some amazing people and developers. And it's just a matter of time. So don't forget, subscribe, like, share it with your friends, and don't forget, I told you so.